For the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. I had a scan at 7:30 in the morning, and it clearly showed a tumor on my pancreas. I didn't even know what a pancreas was. The doctors told me this was almost certainly a type of cancer that is incurable, and that I should expect to live no longer than 3 to 6 months. My doctor advised me to go home and get my affairs in order, which is doctor's code for prepare to die. It means to try and tell your kids everything you thought you'd have the next 10 years to tell them in just a few months. It means to make sure everything is buttoned up so that it will be as easy as possible for your family. It means to say your goodbyes.
About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery. And this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat-screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat-screen TVs. They've been making flat-screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one. And Dell came out with MP3 players and PDAs. And they make great quality products, and they can make perfectly well-designed products, and nobody bought one. In fact, talking about it now, we can't even imagine buying an MP3 player from Dell. Why would you buy an MP3 player from a computer company? But we do it every day. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. You know, sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal and want to be a part of what it is that you do? Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have. The goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe.
This is it. This is what matters. The experience of a product. How will it make someone feel? Will it make life better? Does it deserve to exist? We spend a lot of time on a few great things until every idea we touch enhances each life it touches. You may rarely look at it, but you'll always feel it. This is our signature, and it means everything.
This is PBS.
Storytelling. If we could take a look at your genetic pattern and my genetic pattern, storytelling isn't cool. Storytelling isn't fun. Storytelling isn't just provocative. It's in our genes. We translate, without even knowing it, everything into a story. Now, I want to make a very specific point, two specific points, two punchy, I hope, points. And point number one is the story is more powerful than the brand. Now, the real way of saying that is the brand is the story. But if you want to think in things in terms of order, think story first, brand second. And being able to translate anything you do into a short, punchy story, preferably 30 seconds long, never more than a minute or two long, absolutely essential. Here's the second one. Story is more powerful than the brand, comma, best story wins. I am simply, unabashedly, out loud, screaming and shouting, say, focus on the quality of your storytelling. Turn that complex idea into storytelling. And if you don't believe me, talk to an effective trial lawyer, even if she or he works on complex commercial cases.
This is it. This is what matters. The experience of a product. How will it make someone feel? Will it make life better? Does it deserve to exist? We spend a lot of time on a few great things until every idea we touch enhances each life it touches. You may rarely look at it, but you'll always feel it. This is our signature, and it means everything.
Sunny.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Asante sana.
شكرا جزيلا.
Thanks, mate.
Come on, Auntie.
The stucco, the windows, and the roof.
Well, we're out here today to celebrate the solar installation, which is a partnership between Grid Alternatives and One Roof Energy.
Solar is actually more affordable today than it ever has been, in part because the cost of solar is coming down, the installed cost of solar is coming down, the cost of financing solar is coming down.
Our air is a lot more cleaner than it was in the 50s, and that's really great because it's not just helping us, it's helping our generations that are coming along too. It's giving them a better look of going green instead of using things that are harmful to the environment.
Our projects typically take 2 days. We bring out a team of volunteers and get it done over a period of 2 days. Start with the blank roof, and at the end of 2 days, we've got a system up there working, spinning the meter backwards.
What you're seeing is a collaboration between a lot of groups to help get this neighborhood, an older neighborhood, retrofitted.
Our mission is to make sure that solar's available for everyone, that all communities have access to it. And we do that by turning these solar installations into community events, into 21st century barn raising.
San Diego's blessed with a lot of sunlight, and what we're seeing now, family after family is turning that into energy. It gives us cleaner air, and it also helps reduce greenhouse gas.
The Saldana family is going to save almost $500 a year off their electricity bill.
It's going to happen in a lot of the houses here, and in a very big way. It's going to help us all.
Solar is an amazing technology. Wealthy folks are getting it, big businesses are getting it. The families that we are serving are families that nobody's wanted to sell solar to because they didn't have money to pay for solar, and they deserve it. We were engineers, we were working in the for-profit sector, but you couldn't touch and feel that you were making a difference in somebody's life.
So in 2003, we had quit our day jobs, and definitely for those first 6 months, we weren't sure whether it was going to work out or not. Luckily, it worked out. Low-income homeowners spend a much higher percentage of their income on energy.
They're also living often downstream of traditional power generation, so providing clean power in those communities is essential to sort of environmental justice. We're going to put the panels up on the rooftop today. And what the homeowner sees is 2 days where job trainees, volunteers, and the homeowners themselves all roll up their sleeves, they get up on a rooftop and make solar happen for a family that otherwise wouldn't be able to get it.
So our outreach coordinators, they talk to our homeowners about how important energy efficiency is, steps they can take to reduce their energy use. For most of our clients, we can save 75% up to 90% of their electric bill. We have literally thousands now of volunteers that have been out on our installations, and we've been hearing from volunteers that I applied for a job and they told me, go volunteer with Grid Alternatives and come back when you have some more experience. So in a way, we've become kind of the training for the solar industry in California.
I'm Jason Fuller. I work for Sky Power Solar. I'm a solar site evaluator, and I also do installs. Father, husband, green collar worker, and just happy as can be right now. I started off, went to Laney College, Intro to Photovoltaics, took the class, got my NAPSET entry-level certificate, and just really wanted to break into the industry. And it's very hard. So every place that I went to, drop off my resume, they asked, what's your experience on the roof? And I didn't have any experience, and I'm passionate about solar. I love solar, and it was tough. So one of the places I went to, they actually said, try Grid Alternatives. Got an internship, and 2 months into the internship, I get contacted by Sky Power Solar for a job, which was big, because you had that nervous, like, oh my gosh, my internship's gonna be up. How am I gonna be able to get a job? And I hate to say it changed my life. It really did change my life, and I'm fortunate to be a part of this family. The culture. I love what Grid does.
It was a great experience, for sure, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without it. I wanted to, after working here for a year and moving into other aspects of the solar industry, I wanted to stay involved in some way in something that I still care about. The reason Grid really stands out for me is because there's few places where I know that my money is going directly to program and to really good work that has an impact in a lot of different ways.
Yes, I was wondering, Susie, if you could speak to financial values, because I definitely value getting out of debt. I value investing in the future, but I also value giving back to the community. So, for an instance, like when the tsunami came up, how does one decide how much to give to that or other things that they value in the community?
That's a fabulous question, and this is what I have to say to that, is that most of us go through life holding on so tightly to that which we really don't have, because we don't have enough. So the little that we have, we hold on to it so tightly that our hands literally are not open to receive that which is meant to come our way. There's only one way that I know to force the opening of the hands, and that is through giving. Giving not so that you can get back, but giving so that you can have values. Giving to say thank you for what you have, as well as giving to say thank you for what you do not have. When you open those hands, you feel generous. When you feel generous, you feel powerful. And when you feel powerful, the world can recognize your power, and therefore employers are attracted to you. Job offers come your way. You get pay raises. So it's almost by giving to others that you actually become more. The question has to be asked and answered, how much do you give? You have got to give a respectful amount to yourself. It doesn't make any sense for you to give everything you have away and then leave yourself a victim to your own financial tsunami. That doesn't help you, and it doesn't help anybody around you. So you dig into your heart and you find out an amount that feels right to you. And it doesn't matter if it's $1. It doesn't matter if it's $10 or $100 or whatever. But that is the amount that you give. However, I have to tell you, you just don't give it because there was a disaster. You give it every single month, somewhere for the rest of your life. You make the first check that you write every month as an honoring to your own values, as an honoring and an offering to start the month with your hands open rather than your hands closed. And my biggest fear, that money that goes out right now, and we're helping everybody, and that's fabulous, but what happens in 2 months, 1 year, 5 years from now? Then what happens? So just don't give once. Give once a month for the rest of your life, and then your values will escalate along with how you feel about yourself and along with all the people that you've helped from your generosity.
Thank you.